With the emergence of electronic music, DJs are now paid to play music that they produce. Now there is a rise in what is called Deep House. Tune in.
Back in the late 90s, it was hard to get a big club to play house music. And then all of a sudden it started to grow, and where like now Deep House is almost, it seems like you can hear it on the radio.
Approximately more than a year, probably 2 years, because I think genre-wise Deep House has been booming lately, and that's when I started listening to it.
Over here it's still underground, and over there it's not. So, and the kids over here are like, oh my god, Europe's so cool. And it just brought it over here. And the festivals. I think the festivals have helped, as like a bunch of DJs now have their own place in festivals. They're like, oh, what's this?
Festivals in the United States have not only grown in size, but also capacity, as there are now numerous festivals annually showcasing Deep House. But the most important question now remains is what makes Deep House today so popular?
I think Deep House is big because it is both simple and complex, and people can dance to it, which everybody loves to dance all over the world. What is simple about it is usually it's a very simple, strong song structure, and it keeps going with some breaks and changes. And what is complex is there are constantly changes.
When I listen to Deep House music, there's a lot of detail in it, and I really like listening to those details. I think it's really, how can I say it? It's really creative. It's artistic in some way.
I think when it started initially, it was a lot of sequencers and mixers, programmable synthesizers, and classic keyboards like the Wurlitzer and Rhodes. Nowadays, it's kind of similar, but it's all in the box. It's all in the computer. The programs that I see most commonly used would probably be Ableton and Logic. However, there are many others out there, and it always depends on the person's style and how they want to go about producing a track. But there are many possibilities. Ultimately, you need a simple drum track. You need a solid kick, 4 on the floor, and then you might go about adding the hi-hats, maybe a little bit of snare, pulling your samples from something if that's what you'd like to do. You can research and search in records and other samples. But you would slowly layer stuff and take different things away, find samples that are interesting to you, and slowly build things on top of each other.
I really like Disclosure, and recently I've been listening to Julio Bashmore's music, and I really like it a lot. But when I listen to songs, Deep House songs that I really like, I get really psyched, and it boosts up my day, and I just really enjoy listening to it. It's colorful. Yeah.
With the sudden rise of Deep House, there is always the worry of how long it will stick around for. Is it just a trend, or is it here to stay?
Deep House is basically disco. It's going to be around for a long time. With the population growth, things are getting a little crazy in San Francisco, but in a good way too, with more people being into Deep House and dance music. So even though those trends are still here, some of them have died out, it's still here. I don't see it going anywhere in my lifetime.
A lot of people have been listening more to deep house kind of music, and I'm pretty sure in the future it's gonna be more mainstream, which I think it's kind of bad, because when some kind of music or genre becomes too mainstream, it's just very usual, and a lot of people probably think, oh, it's kind of boring now.
In the end, it comes down to a split decision on where deep house is heading. Nevertheless, for now, we know that deep house is on the rise.